tonight, okay, I talked about last week that we are going to be doing this song for our very last project. So by the last week, I'm hoping that you guys can go through and translate this song. So this song is a little bit longer, but it's a really cool, like, awesome song that has some really good meaning in it, but it also has a lot of, like, good English idioms. So, or things that if you translated it straight into ASL, then it wouldn't have the same effect. Yeah. So what I want to see with this song is I want to see that the thing that you understand whenever you hear this song, and the emotion that you feel, the way that it like stirs your heart to worship God deeper, and the way it explains it, is completely conveyed in ASL. But it can't be using the same words because they wouldn't. Like, you couldn't even do it if you wanted to very well. So you would have to translate at least quite a bit of it. So I want to play this song for you guys, and then that way you guys can start having an idea of how you want to do it. And I know you've heard this one before because you were here. But I want to play it, and then that way you guys can go through it. And then afterwards, if you guys will, then I want you to start thinking of like the words and the different things and what you would like to know how to sign. And then I can teach you guys some of the words that you can work on your translation for. Okay? What do you guys think? Is that a good song? Will that give you something to work on?
Used a lot of phrases.
Yes, he did.
So if you were to sign that, like just word for word, like let's say during Sunday service, do you think there'd be like a confused which one?
Well, okay, it depends because, okay, first of all, it depends who you're interpreting for.
Yeah. And
it also depends their grasp of English, but also what's being said. Like, we can look at, okay, so here we'll start us off with the words. Because I have the words and the video and everything up there. Okay, so clear the stage and set the sound and lights ablaze. Okay, if that's the measure you must take to crush the idols. So if you take this for exactly what it says, that will be exactly what you're signing. If you're literally talking about crushing idols or the lights and the sounds, like, so you have to consider, like, yes, there's an element that you can sign pretty much what's on here, but at the same time, is that really what you're talking about? Going down, it says, shine the light on every corner of your life until the pride and lust and lies are in the open. So in our minds, then you can think about like shining a light into a dark place and you're able to illuminate everything, you're able to see, you're not hiding anything, there's nothing hidden from God anymore, you're putting it all out in the open, so you can have that complete relationship with Him. Versus if you talk about shining a light in the corner of your life, like you lose the whole entire picture of what you're trying to say. Whereas if you translate this out and explain how these three things, giving that to God and allowing Him to see that and having a pure heart, having a full relationship with Him and having it just be open and honest and not trying to hide anything, if you go through and explain that whole concept, that's what you're looking for. Versus the, because you can sign these words and for some people then it'll work, but if you really want to like translate this song well, if you really want to like have it convey the same message, these words won't do it. Like they do for us in English. Even though they're really good, they just won't do it.
Yeah.
So.
Is there like a word for idols?
For idols? Idols. Idol. It's usually like off tier elements a little bit. Idols. But another thing you could do, you could spell it for emphasis. Idol. To explain it more. Idol. But then again, so for us, whenever we think of idols, we think of the things, we don't actually, maybe we do. Maybe we think of like a small little tiny statue, or maybe in our minds we're actually thinking, what do you think whenever you think of an idol?
Mary
if I say get rid of the idols in your life, what?
Mary sitting on the dash.
Okay, yeah, so like little statue or something. What else though? Is there like a more metaphorical sense to idol? Because it totally can. Like in the Bible, they talk about a lot, like actually like getting rid of the idol, you know. But
their job.
So your priority, any of the things in your life. But if you just sign idol, this little statue, does that convey the same meaning as explaining what idol means? So you have to consider, like, if you're talking to someone who goes to church and they completely know about all this and everything, yeah, then chances are they would catch idol, this is talking about this. But when you're citing it, do you want to just use that and like assume that they probably know the sign idol, they know what that means? Or do you want to translate that out and be like putting things before God, like doing all this like and explain what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay, so from what you've seen, what words are you looking to learn? That way I give you guys a little bit of a jump on vocabulary.
Stage.
Stage. Stage. Stage.
Okay.
Stage.
Well, congregation, I guess, because I'm not if I really use that word. I guess I'm trying to
I would probably use church.
church.
Like if someone said congregation, I would probably sign church. But you're referring to a group of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, so my closest actual, if I was like translating that word, would be church. That's the only sign that I know for that. But you have the option again of translating that out. So
What about like follower or like disciple?
Follower?
Because I know follow, but I
Yeah.
don't want to use like someone who's like following.
well, you have like
if you
follower.
follow.
This is also like disciple. So follower or disciple. So that's what the sign is if you choose to use that idea.
Revival?
Revival, I would do change. I would probably assign change. But then again, just changing something isn't the whole entire concept of revival. So if you have the time and you can think of a way to explain revival, you know, is it just like changing, like I stopped doing that one bad thing, or is it like your whole life you have experienced this? Is it everyone? Is it one person? You know, so there's things that you can kind of add in your own stuff. Yeah.
Because like I understand the concept he's saying, jerk the kids in all directions, so the congregation is freedom,
Yeah.
like, you know, do a religion on in relationship with
Yeah.
God, right? So
And then you will have that change in your life.
Yeah.
And then all of my life has changed.
Yeah. So yeah, and the cool part is that everybody gets to put their own like kind of spin on it based on what's being said. Maybe for you, the part that really hits is like all the like stage stuff, all the pretty lights and all the flashing and like all the music and the cool stuff and like the pews and the decorations. Like maybe that's the part that really hits you, and so you want to really explain that part and be like, it's not about the piano and the guitar and the microphone and the lights. Like take all that out, like, you know, because really what he's saying is clear the stage, and so it does use like the metaphor of a stage and all the things on it, but at the same time that he's not so much just talking about a stage, but is almost like in our hearts.
yeah.
You know, like, and so you could even completely translate this and make this about your heart and setting aside room for Jesus. Or you could totally talk about an actual stage, like if you think about going to church in a worship time or a worship night or something, like, is it all about all the things on the stage, or is it about the one that you came to worship? Is it about your voice? Is it about the cool way that you figured out how to sign it, or is it about Jesus Christ and bring glory to Him? So, yeah. So what other words?
Blister.
Blister, I wouldn't have a sign for that. I would probably just spell it. You could say pain. Pain. There might be like a way to describe it. But that might be something that you choose to translate as well. So.
Is there a word for like earnest?
Sincere.
Yeah.
So you could do like honest. Sincere would be like really or truly, honestly. This is the sign. How would you gloss that? Like, this could be like earnestly, zealously, like, let's go, like, take this on. Yeah, so that whole concept is this sign. So, yeah, so you could do like being earnest about something.
necessary, or would you just do like not needed?
Not needed.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to convert it in my brain. These are the words that I will need.
Yeah.
Is that corner? Okay.
You could do corner. Corner. But then again, you have to think, are you actually talking about a real corner? That you want to physically describe the corner of something?
It's in mobile song.
Mhm. Are you guys done with this part?
I could do it
Yeah.
now, but it's, maybe
Okay,
there's
we can
some
go
other
back up
words
to it.
there. There's some other word, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, so there's not that much more.
Yeah.
Actually, there's,
So like he makes this point, like where it says clear the stage and make some space for the one who deserves it.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay, there is a little bit more, I thought I put that part on. There is a
What
little
about
bit more.
anything?
Yeah, because it says anything that, yeah. So that part, it didn't have it on the lyrics on this one. But I'll go back there and I'll add that on there. But yeah,
And what was his name?
Jimmy Needham.
Oh,
Yeah. He lived here, right? Didn't he come?
Yeah.
Did he really?
Okay, this part just all repeats the chorus. Okay.
I don't know if we asked this before. More like a, I guess, reverence or like poetry.
Like honor or respect, reverence. Reverence, honor, respect. And your non-dominant hand is the one that's forward in this one, which is a little different.
Makes us like take a break from all the things that just simply conveying the things that can just stop and listen.
And you could use like, so this is like the sign break, like taking a break, not something was broken, but taking a break. You have like hold up. To wait, you could also use like this is pause. So to a break. Or like you could just say stop, you could say finish. Or like drop out. Like, you know,
Getting
like,
away from the world.
yeah, like
basically.
get away
Yeah.
from it for just a little while, like,
Yeah.
just, you know, take a break, drop out for a few minutes, like.
Can you just like ask or request? What was the word for like a beg?
There's a word for big here.
Oh, I remember they did. That's what's on, right? That's on-
Yeah, we did one of them with that. Big.
What was it like you said, like wanting or desire or
I would just do wanting or desire this way. Want or desire. You can do want. Want. Or like begging. Do requesting. That's all the ones I can think of for that.
you know the point because you're like, well, you know, is it like you want to be like the church or like the
Yeah.
change that's supposed to be in your heart? And so those are like everything's
Yeah. And it does. So some of it, and it can kind of go back and forth too. Like, you know, if here, this part speaks to you and you can talk about an actual church stage, and then it goes down and it goes into actually your busyness and what you're doing, and then further than just not being busy, but actually taking time out to be with God and showing Him your sin and like pulling out all the, like clearing the stage of an actual church and then going down here and clearing the stage of all the other things you're putting as a priority before God. And especially when it goes into the like, anything I put before my God is an idol, you know, anything I want with all my heart, anything that I can't stop thinking of.
Destroy.
Destroy. So you can do it this way. So your dominant hand is out forward more, like that. And then it goes back here, and then forward this way. Destroy. Actually, it goes here with your hands open, and then whenever you go forward. Okay. So that. Destroy. We have ruin. Destroy. Ruin.
But like this, when he's saying about it, this, we can say how you know, I'm gonna get it wrong. What's the, I guess, being genuine or like, I guess it's like, you know, sincerity or like,
Yeah.
not being fake. How do you?
So you can, one of the cool things is to be able to go in the opposite of it. So like, so you can do like it's real, it's true, like it's honest, like we talked about.
Yeah.
But you can also go with the opposite of that being true as well. Like it's not fake. It's not, you know, a show. It's not, you know, you're not acting. You know, it's not being a hypocrite. You know, being two-faced. Hypocrite, two-faced.
Okay.
It's not, you know, so you can go into the negatives as well.
Yeah.
So that's one of the cool things is that when it has something that's negative, you can make it a positive. When it says don't do this, you can do the like do this part, or whenever it has the opposite, you can do it that way as well. Yeah, hypocrite. Yeah. Anything else you see?
Is this the written for approach? Is it coming to him?
I would do approach. This is, I've seen it like confront. I've seen it as like approach. It's kind of like just two people face to face. That's the idea of it. I've also done this for presence, like God being like face to face with you, His presence being here, being in His presence.
Right in front of you. Front of the class.
This is front, so it has the same hand shape. I don't know if I would really do this as much for in front. I'd probably do this more for in front. Front of the class, yeah. Or like class watching, you could do like the audience watching. Okay, then if you guys can, look up the words, look up the song, think about it, start practicing a little bit and see what else you have, and then if next week you have any more questions, we can do a little bit more vocabulary. If you have something that you've started on, then that would be really cool, because then we can at least go through that a little bit and talk about a little bit more of the translation part of it too. Okay?